Hi guys, it's Victoria from Australia. This is my second video of I'm doing this in the car because I'm supposed to go up the road and get a few things, but I just thought I'd send out this video. I already did a first video, but for some reason I've lost it. So I just wanted to update everybody who might be interested about my health problems regarding the vertigo and things like that. About a week and a half ago, there was a change, and I started to feel better. And the interesting thing is that I wasn't looking, on online at all, or going to look at Nice Family Collective or anything, because I was really sick. Every couple of seconds my brain would do that. Sleep, I'd wake up and it would be like, whoa, like I'd wake up like I'd been falling down a pit. And even though it didn't look like it, it was like, that's how bad it was. And the sounds, every sound was so intense and so sharp, and it was like electric shocks going through my brain, just like like this. This is 24 hours a day, and it got worse about 6 months ago. I had vertigo for 4 years, but I put up with it because it was at night time, and when I was driving, I'd get, before I go to sleep, it was like that, and I just put up with it. A doctor had said that it was Meniere's disease and there's nothing that you could do about it, and put up with it. And so I got really frightened. I thought, I don't know how I'm going to look after my daughter because she's disabled, and it's just me looking after her. My mum lives in another state, and I didn't even particularly get on well with my mum or anything. But I had to get in contact with her and say I might have to move up because I don't know how I'm going to cope looking after my daughter. But anyway, I had another friend. I got to the stage where I thought I can't kill myself, but this is the end of my life. I'm almost 50, a couple more months and I'm going to be 50, and this is the end. And how am I going to spend the next 30 years like I am in a war zone and being tortured and having no sleep, maybe 20 minutes before that wakes me up, and just sitting in my bed for hours and hours on end, not being able to watch television, just listening to music over and over and over again. And I just didn't know what I was going to do. And like I said, I even went onto Google about how to end it painlessly. I thought, listening to Naya, and there's no right or wrong, and whatever it is that you do it. You're going to get to where you need to go if you have faith in that's what it is. This is just an experience. I thought, okay, but I knew I couldn't, because who's going to look after my daughter? But anyway, so I got in contact with my mum and said I might have to move to Queensland, which is really hot, and I thought, oh God, what am I going to do? My mum's 70 and wouldn't it be better to stay here with its support and things? But I thought, what do you do? And I'd never had a really good relationship with my mum. I'd had issues with her when I was a young teen and ended up having nowhere to live, being homeless. And my mum she even admits that she was really hard at the time. But she pulled out all the stops. She gave me money so I could go get looked at by the doctors and MRI scans and things like that. And I went to the doctor, and the reason I'm posting this is that I'm feeling so much better, and it's because of a fluke. It just complete fluke. I would stay in bed all day upright like this, and even when I was upright, that's what you hear, and then you go zap in your new brain. And I went to the doctor because the person, the receptionist at MRI said, "Oh, are you what's the word for it? Claustrophobic." I didn't think I was. I actually put one of those plastic, clothes basket over my head, really close in, to see if I could cope with it. And I thought I could cope with this, but I was more worried about dye going into your brain. What does that do to your brain? Blah, 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 worry. And the reason that I have had a lot of worry since my child was born, and that's 16 years, because of, her disability and issues with her dad, and me thinking, how am I going to be able to make sure she's got a roof over her head that will never be taken away from her. I couldn't bear the idea of her going into a home or being out in the street if I wasn't around, if something happened to me. So for the last 5 years, I have just been renovating her father's houses, whilst he doesn't, I did it myself, everything, laying floorboards and putting up with getting on the roof and mending the roof, which constantly leaked, and blocked up toilets, and no showers, and not working 14-hour days, 7 days a week, and losing all my friends, and just the nightmare, the absolute nightmare. And I did it, and I thought, this is how I must do it. I need to be able to do it. It turns out that everything's fallen to bits anyway, and there's, the money that I made, where is it? Not with me. And moving into somebody's house to rent, thinking maybe I could buy it, and then he put pressure on me to have a relationship with him, and I thought, I'm just squeezed. Every which way I'm squeezed, and all I want to do is be independent and do it, because I'm the only one who can do it. But anyway, so for 4 years before all of this, I did develop this vertigo, but I could cope with it because it's at night time. And when I went to sleep, it was just, getting used to going like that. But it was only in the last 6 months where it was really severe, and the electric shocks in my brain, and I thought, this is the end of my life, and, what's a painless way to go? And how can I possibly be happy and follow Naya's ways and be out there and to be able to say to people, look, you can still do it and still suffer. I thought, I'm not that ascended person. I'm not yet anyway. Well, I don't know. But anyway, I went to the doctor, got some Valium, a couple of Valium, just in case the noises of the MRI. It was more the noises of the MRI. I thought this is going to set me off, and I'm just going to be, I'm going to feel so awful. Took 2. I giggled for about 10 seconds and went in, and it was perfectly fine, no claustrophobic, could put up the noises and stuff, but you wouldn't believe it. But my vertigo started to resolve. And that... Hi, part 2. So where was I up to? Yeah, my friend had said, if you don't do something about it, you're going to have a stroke, and then your daughter's not only not going to have a father, although she does, but also not a mother. And I thought, well, just take the medication, Victoria, because if you're thinking about, killing yourself, then what's medicine? So what? That's just going to give you a little bit more suffering. Anyway, so it started to resolve, and it's been like, this is what day is it today? It's almost 7 days, and I'm actually able to get in the car and drive, and I took my daughter to school, and I don't have to rely on online shopping or anything like that. And it's because when it was really bad and all I could do was stay in bed upright and hold perfectly still, even when I held perfectly still, the tipping still went on, and I couldn't walk up the street because I'd have numbness and tingling down my face, and one side of my body was all weak as well. But that is all resolving. But when it was really bad, and I thought, and I following Naya for so long and realizing there is a big force out there, but I'm not that big force. I don't feel like I'm that big force yet. And so I prayed to everybody. Positive thinking didn't work. Nothing worked. Anti-anxiety medication, which I started to take for a week, nothing worked. The Stemotel for the seasickness, it took the edge off of it a little bit, but it was still there. And I just said, I'm just going to have to go through this. And I put a call out to everybody who's involved with Naya's Family Collective and Naya, and every creature that has ever been on this planet and ever will be on this planet and is in every dimension. I just said, not only am I asking it, I'm demanding it. I am demanding it. So if you're out there and you're sick and you need help of any, just demand it. Demand it from me. Demand it from all of the family, if you want to call them the family or the collective. Just demand it, because if you're a creator God, and there are other creator gods out there, then we're all part of a supreme force. So please ask it of me and of everybody. What else can I say? And the diazepam, don't like taking medication, but there's somebody out there who developed this. And my mum said that when I was little, and I had, before the age of 12 months, I had meningitis and then encephalitis. And at about 2, I used to walk into walls and walk into furniture and things because I had scarring on the brain. And the specialist prescribed diazepam for me when I was 2 years old, and it cured me. And almost 50 years later, and haven't had it, it's cured me again. So 50 years almost later. How incredible is that? So there's people out there who have developed things, and I know that there's a lot of, it's over medication and things like that in the world, but there are some things that actually do help. And I felt so strongly for people who've got, I was thinking about Michael J. Fox and, Christopher Reeve, just, big names who've just suffered and are still suffering, and they wake up every morning with it. And I knew what it was like to wake up every morning, and for that split second when you don't have that vertigo, and then it happened. This is exactly what Michael J. Fox said. For a split second, you're normal, but then it happens again. And then, so I understand. And I just wish that there was something, pray that there's stuff that will help people. And going online and seeing all those people who also are suffering and, feeling so badly for them, and I still know what it's like. They're praying and saying, please somebody help me, please somebody help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. And to say that every second for the whole time that you're conscious, for years and years on end. Their hell is here, and I know it's an experience, but if there's any way of getting off of it, of the horrible merry-go-round, just try everything. And like I said, just put it out there for us. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody who helped me, and I know you did. And Naya has posted something about sending stuff for Christmas for us, like in our box, in our personal box, positive thoughts that will last forever. And I know that she's already done it for me. And I do it back for her, and I do it back for every human being that's on this planet, whether they're a mass murderer or, they've killed somebody, or they're killing themselves, or they've beaten their partners up. I send it out for them. And if it wasn't for this, I would not have known how much my mum actually loved me. And to know that after 50 years, it's transformational. And I also found out about my mum's history too, and what my dad did to her too. And if it wasn't for this, I'd never know. And I said, Mum, I'm so grateful that you've told me your history, because how can I leave this planet and this earth in a human form and not know what your history was? Because you've given me my history. You've told me about my childhood. You told me, you've put the jigsaw puzzle pieces together for me. So, and now I can get it for you. So anyway, big hugs and heartfelt hugs and lots of love from me. And I'll update you, and maybe I'll fall off the wagon again in terms of judgment and things like that. But I'm really non-judgment, everybody. If we can get there, let's do it. Yeah, love you lots, and I'll talk to you really soon. Okay, bye. Hi, there was just one more thing that I was supposed to add, which is what I was actually going to talk about when I first started the video. When I started to take the pills, which was almost a week ago, and I hadn't been online and I hadn't seen anybody's comments, and I felt, you know, I just needed to stay away from everything, because all I could do was stay up in bed and just listen to music for 12 hours and then try to fall asleep and things like that. But it was almost a week, and I'd actually thought, no, I'm going to just go online, I'll look at YouTube, and I noticed that Naya had left a comment after something I'd written, and she said, oh, you're going to feel better in a week's time. And that was a week since I'd actually started to feel better. And how would she know? I mean, I know that she was a nurse, and she probably had experience in, you know, a whole lot of different medical problems and things. She had no way of knowing that I had been experiencing vertigo for 4 years. So why would anybody, a doctor wouldn't have even said that. They wouldn't say, oh, you're going to feel better within a week. She had no idea that I was actually, what I've been doing to help her, if I was taking medication, nothing. So she was asking whether she's a shaman, and I think I've got some negative things about some people who believe that they're shaman and they're actually shysters. So I didn't go for that. But what I think is she's an old-fashioned psychic at the very, very least. I mean, yes, she's a shaman too, but, you know, whatever label, you know, people want to put on for something extraordinary. So thank you, Naya. You've obviously got a crystal clear channel to other dimensions and other pub friends and the healing force. So miraculous, that's all I can say. So thank you. Bye.